Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodesh. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, gonna go into this lesson. All right, it came to mind. I was meditating on it. Concerning something. All right, has got to give. Dealing with this wicked world. As we already know what the deal is with the world, but when you look at, especially in this generation, in the recent months, recent years, things wickedness has exceeded, all right, to a level, all right, that we haven't seen before. I mean, in every aspect, uh, uh, in every area you can look at, especially here in Babylon, every area you can look at, there's some form of wickedness that's exceeding previous levels, you know, to the point where even the children, all right, the children have been absolutely corrupted, all right, and polluted, you know. So I mean, there's no stopping, there's no levels, there's no restrictions, all right, to the amount of wickedness that's being done, all right, on the planet Earth. But basically, I'm gonna go into a couple of scriptures, all right, showing that the way the Lord works is when this wickedness, all right, exceeds a certain level, all right, it comes up to the Heavenly Father, it comes up to the heavens, as the scriptures say, all right, and that the Lord sees that, and eventually he brings judgment, okay, upon the earth, based on the wickedness that has happened. It gets to a certain level, there's too much that becomes too much for the for the Lord to allow to continue. Salakia, give me 1 second. Let me just make sure this. All right, it gets to the point where the Lord can't allow it to continue anymore. All right, and then He brings judgment upon it. All right, when you look at sort of some ancient civilizations, okay, you look at the way the Lord cast the judgment upon them. All right, He allowed the wickedness to get to a certain level. All right, before He brought that judgment down. You look at like Nineveh, for example. Which the Lord was about to pronounce judgment on immediately. Okay, now they repented of their works, all right, for a moment. And what did the Lord do? He allowed it to continue for a little while, all right, but eventually He still destroyed it, okay? And that's what's going on with America. As the scriptures say, Apostle Ramla was going into it, all right, going into the seven seals, all right, of the angels, which really represents the you could say the lifespan, all right, of this empire, okay? And after that sixth trumpet, or when that seventh trumpet is blown, that's when you're gonna have that total destruction of this place. That's gonna be the time is up. America's lifeline, his life support has been cut. All right. So, like I said, something has got to give, because if you look at society today, a kingdom or a society cannot function, all right, under the conditions that it's in right now. There's a reason the Lord took down a lot of these major empires, was because their wickedness had exceeded to a certain level, which was unacceptable, all right, to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It was too much, so the Lord had to bring it down, and that's what you see going on here. The Lord didn't create the earth, all right, for people to dwell in wickedness as it is right now, or else He wouldn't have made those laws that He made. The laws, all right, that the Lord gave us are to govern the whole world, but it has to start with us, because we're going to be the enforcers of the law, all right? And once we get in order, then the whole world is going to be put in order. But the Lord is not going to sit there, and because if the Lord wanted the world to continue in a wicked, and perverse manner, He wouldn't have destroyed the old world with water. All right. And we're going to read why He destroyed the old world, why He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, why He destroyed places like that, because of the same thing and worse that America is doing now. All right. And the Lord is not going to tolerate his earth, His planet, all right, and the people living on it to live this way. It's not, something has to give. We know this is what the Lord hates, but it's going on. You know, so it can't go on much further because other empires have been brought down for less. All right, so it's literally impossible for this place to continue as it is, because at the rate at which it's deteriorating. All right, at the rate in which the morality of these people is decomposing, is breaking down, it can't last. All right, this place is gonna go down. The Lord is gonna do something, all right, to completely bring this place down immediately. All right, now this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities." Oh, the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Now, you got to understand that the scriptures say that when the Lord looks, when he looks upon the earth, he sees wickedness, right? But now it's not like he can just look away, and continue being long suffering. Now the wickedness has risen up to the heavens, to where the Lord doesn't have to look down to see it. All right, it's coming up to him. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna destroy it. He's gonna get rid of it. It's bothering him. It's bothering Yahushai. All right. Now we don't. Only the Lord knows the exact date, but we know that it has to be close, because the Lord cannot. The Lord cannot stand. All right, wickedness. The Lord cannot stand iniquity. He cannot stand unrighteousness. All right, he just can't. To the point where when Yahushua had all the sins of Israel on him, all right, the Lord he said he felt, it felt like the Lord turned away from him. His presence left him, because the Lord couldn't, even though it was his beloved son Yahushua, he couldn't look at him, because there was so much iniquity, so much wickedness, right? So even his own beloved son, he couldn't look at because of all that iniquity. How much more for a wicked ass kingdom like this place? He's gonna destroy it utterly and completely. All right, but something has got to give, because the wickedness is not stopping, and as the scriptures say, because judgment is not or because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, the heart of men is fully set within them to do evil. So he's not good. The Lord ain't going to allow this evil to continue at the pace at which it's going. All right. So from here now, let's go. All right. And we'll read an example, because the scriptures tell you that Sodom and Gomorrah was supposed to be an example for anybody that should live ungodly after. All right. Man, I really got to get a new stand. Let's see. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 20. It says, "And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous." Now, the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean Sodom and Gomorrah was crying and the Lord felt bad for them, but it's representing the wickedness. The crying out of unrighteousness was so great, all right, that it came up to the Lord, and he said, hell no, I can't do this anymore. Hell no, I can't tolerate this. Because, and it's funny too, you gotta think about it. The Lord knew ahead that in the future things were gonna get so much worse, and we're gonna read about that. All right, shalom, to those watching. That's right. GMS Salve 144, Psalms 1 and 6. "For the Lord knoweth the way of righteousness, but the way of the ungodly shall perish." Exactly. And this whole kingdom, this whole world, the whole vibration of the earth is in an unrighteous state. So it's gonna perish. All right. So let's keep reading. It says here, Genesis 18 and 20. "And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous." All right, it's very grievous. It grieves the Lord. He cannot stand the sight of iniquity. All right, it says, "I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it." So basically, like the report, the rumor that is coming up to the Lord of how wicked this place is. He's like, I'm gonna go see if it's really this wicked, and if it is, oh. So it says here, and when verse 21, and I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it. All right. So if the works there is according to the report that I'm getting, all right, the wickedness, it says, which has come unto me, and if not, I will know. Okay. So the Lord's like, all right, I'm gonna go find out. And what happened? The Lord found out. And what did he do? He destroyed that place, man. Completely destroyed it, because the cry had came up to the Lord. All right. Something had to give. The scriptures say that just Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. When you go into the word conversation, it means the lifestyle. So the wickedness that they were doing over there in Sodom and Gomorrah and in neighboring cities as well. All right. But mainly those cities, it vexed Lot. All right. It vexed his righteous spirit. All right. And so something had to give. That wickedness couldn't continue forever. The Lord just couldn't allow it. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah happened. That's why whatever happened to Sodom and Gomorrah happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's made an example for us. So what do you think is going to happen to this place? All right. It's going to be much worse. Okay. So now let's go to, let me make sure this thing stays up. All right. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra real quick. I wonder if I could use this to Salakia. Let me see if I could. All right, we'll go with this for now. All right, the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Okay, verse and we're gonna start at Salakia, 2nd Ezra chapter 4. All right, going into Science Gotta Give. All right, chapter 4, and we're gonna start at the 22nd verse. All right. And this is the prophet Ezra speaking with the angel Uriel. All right. So it says here, then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, let me have understanding. For it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily. Right. So he's like, it wasn't, what I'm worried about is what's happening, daily, what's happening to us right now. What's happening in our daily lives. As the elder Manata Zakba did a video yesterday, along the lines of women, of Babylon, a daily vexation, so what's happening daily, what's constantly vexing us. All right. It says, namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen, and for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over unto ungodly nations. And why the law of our fathers or of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. So he's like, why is all this going on? What's happening? What what I'm saying? The science got to give. What's going on? Okay. He's like, what's that's what I'm curious about. Why is the Lord allowing all this to happen? All right. And it says here, verse 24, and we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. What will he then do unto his name whereby we are called? Because we're called by the Lord's name, but if we're just a bunch of degenerates, if the Lord just allows us to be a bunch of degenerates and just a messed up destitute nation, what's going to happen to his name? Because we glorify the Lord's name. And it says that he's a God of Israel. So if Israel's all messed up, then that's like a bad reputation on the Lord. All right. So it says here, all right, verse 25, what will he then do unto his name whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. For the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. And this was during the time of the prophet Ezra. All right, this was thousands of years ago. Roughly like what, 2,500, if not more years ago. And there was that level of wickedness there. So how much more for now? All right. See, the wickedness, like I said, once it hits a certain threshold, it becomes too much and it's not going to continue. All right. It's not going to continue that way. You know, the Most High is not going to allow it to continue. He can't. All right. Because it's too much. He can't tolerate it. All right. It says, verse 28, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. So we see the evil, it's sown, it's constantly being sown. You know, everywhere you look, it's constantly being sown. All right. It says, but the destruction hasn't come yet. The judgment for it hasn't come yet. Verse 29, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So it's like a cause and reaction, right? Once you sow it, you got to reap it. You know, the wickedness is sown, the judgment has to come, so that chapter can pass away. And then the reward for the righteousness, all right, or the good works that were sown, then that comes to pass. But first, the judgment for the wicked has to come to pass, then the reward for the righteous comes. Right? So as we're seeing wickedness being sown, righteousness is also being sown, but the righteousness that's being sown came after the wickedness that had already been sown. So now that judgment has to wipe away that wickedness, it has to be cleansed, and then the reward comes for the righteousness. All right? Because you did bad, and then you try to do good, but you got to pay for the bad before you get rewarded for the good. So it says, for the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness hath it brought up until this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? You know, and threshing going into the harvest, all right, where you would basically, that's why you had threshing floors. You know, it would be a way of separating the grain from the chaff and the covering of it. You know, whether you would use something to beat, you know, you would beat it so that the skin peels off and you can get the grain, or you have you know, the oxen or whatever tread upon it, all right, but you would have a certain floor that was specifically made for that, all right, so that you could thresh the crops and you could get the actual edible part of it. So that harvest time, all right, the time when you actually start reaping the things that were sown, all right, and this time, this is a metaphorical way of saying the judgment that's to come, because the threshing that's going to come for the evil seed that has been sown is going to be Jacob's trouble. It's going to be the time, all right, when the wickedness is going to be paid for, all right, when the Lord is going to start harvesting all the wickedness. As a matter of fact, let's go to a quick precept here in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1, verse let's see. Yep. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, right? And be filled with their own devices. Okay, they're gonna eat of the fruit of their own way. See, so if you sowed wicked seed, you're gonna reap of that corruption. If you sowed to the flesh, all right. Let's see, where was that? 30. So 31, it says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought. Because what happens when you plant a seed? You plant it into the earth, it grows over time. All right, it grows, it becomes a big tree, and then that tree bears fruit. And in each fruit is a certain number of seeds that are gonna carry on the energy that big tree has. Okay, so the angel tells Ezra, how much wickedness do you think is on the earth now from that one seed that was sown, you know, that has now you know, has the fruit. Okay, so it says verse 32, and when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? All right, so going into the crops, when you reap all of them, this fruit, this tree that has been planted and has been allowed to grow for so long, all right, how much crops, all right, do you think is gonna be on it? All right, and when you finally cut all them down, What size threshing floor do you think you're going to need in order to thresh all those? You know, it's going to be so much. And that's why the scriptures say it's going to be a time like never before, because that wickedness has been festering and growing and growing and growing and growing, to where when the Lord finally pulls up the tab, the wickedness is going to be on a level that it has never been before. So in order to cleanse that, the judgment is going to have to be on a level that has never been before. You think about it like this: when you plant crops, you put the seed in the earth. If you have a good, if the everything goes right, the weather is good, you're gonna have a depending on how much you plant, how much you put into the earth, that's gonna depend on how big or great your harvest is, right? So if you sow a lot of seeds, your harvest is gonna be very great. You're gonna have to do a lot of work. You're gonna have to, them reapers are gonna be working, right? And you're gonna need a lot of, either a super big threshing floor or a lot of different threshing floors in order to be able to, harvest all of the crops that you've gotten. So thinking about it spiritually, if you've sown wickedness on a level that you have never sown before, and for each wickedness there's a judgment, then the judgment that's gonna come is gonna be on a level that you've never seen before. Hence Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is that cleansing, all right, that punishment, that clearing away of all the wickedness that has been done. For the Lord, long suffering, all of that, the Lord is gonna bring that judgment all at once. That's also why it's gonna be so bad, because it's gonna be all at once. All right. Verse 33. Then I answered and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? So when is it gonna give? Something's got to give, but when? Because you're saying that there's gonna be a great judgment. You're saying, yes, we see the wickedness that's going on, but when is the Lord finally gonna have enough? When are we gonna see that? How does the saying go? The straw that broke the camel's back, something like that. All right, when is that last straw gonna be put on the camel's back and it's gonna break the back? That's what we're waiting for, because we're looking at the camel. The camel's legs are shaking. It looks like he's about to give out, but as he still hasn't given out yet. So we looking like something has got to give. It's either going to be the legs, it's going to be the back, the whole camel is just going to collapse. Something is going to happen. All right, because as we see them putting more and more straws on, all right, meaning the wickedness in the society is increasing and increasing. All right, like even if you look at it like this, eventually it's going to hit the top, and when it hits the top, something has to give. I'm just trying to put images in your mind right now. Like, picture getting an empty plastic water bottle and putting it at the mouth of the faucet, right? And you turn on you turn on the tap, and the water, it fills up. You see the bottle getting filled up, but then you get to the point where the bottle is now completely filled up, but the tap is still going, and now the water is expanding and the bottle is expanding and expanding and expanding. And you know what's about to happen next. You're anticipating that something is going to happen. The bottle's going to pop. The tap is going, something is going to happen. Something has got to give, because at the rate which the water is coming through, there's no space in the bottle. So something has to happen. And that's where we at right now. The rate at which wickedness is going on, the Lord ain't going to tolerate it. So something has to give. And something is about to give, and I did see a video like that. And as you're looking at the water, you're waiting and waiting and waiting, but the bottle just looks the same, and then suddenly, boom, it just pops. The bottle just bursts, and that's what's happening here. It's going and going and going, and people, like it says, when they shall say peace and safety, they're thinking the second the bottle got filled, then it explodes. But no, it has to go just a little bit more. So these people think that, oh, well, wickedness has reached an all-time high, but, shit is still going. Not knowing that in a few seconds, shit is about to go down, right? So they think, oh, well, it didn't, nothing happened instantaneously. I mean, this whole pandemic started, but things seem like they're going good. We're about to return to normal. We're about to go back into our regular lives, our peace. Hell no. All right? The Lord is about to grab you wicked individuals by the neck and squeeze you till your head pops. All right? And judgment is about to break forth suddenly. That's what it means by sudden destruction. And it only takes one thing to start the chain. It only takes one event to push the first domino down, and that whole thing is going to come right crashing down. All right. So let's see. So 2 Ezra 4:33. Then I answered and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? So when is it gonna give? And how? What's gonna happen? You know, you look at society, you're like, all right, well, now what? You know, we know that sign is coming, but now what? But that's the point. You're not supposed to see it coming. At least for the people in the world. But it's worse for them because they don't even know it's coming. All right. We're looking. You know, we're constantly looking. All right. So let's see what else we had here. All right, and I mean, it's embarrassing as well, you know, when you look around you and, you know, even it's just like you look around you and you like, whenever you see something that has to deal with folly or something that has to deal with, you know, chaos or something that got to deal with something just, you know, embarrassing, you know, on a certain level, you just know that it's going to be an Israelite, you know? When you see, look, when you see ratchetness on a certain level, you just know, nah, that's got to be Jake. They may look like a heathen, but based on the you could just tell Jake has a certain kind of ratchetness, you know, that when you see it, you're like, nah, I don't care what you look like. That's got to be Jake. But it's sad. It's sad that that's a way to identify our people as well, by how ratchet or how uncomely or how, you know, destitute they are, you know, instead of looking at how glorious and beautiful and magnified we are, all right, and saying, yeah, that's an Israelite, you know, are you an Israelite? I'm an Israelite. Yeah, inside joke. But, you know, instead of looking at the majesty and then saying, yeah, those are the sons of the power, we got to look at it on the flip side and say, yeah, those are Israelites. You know, you hear a report, you know, yo, they did this, they did that. Boy, they're Israelites, right? You know, and it's like, damn, that's embarrassing. Because when you see some wild, wicked shit going on, and I mean, to a certain extent, you know, you look at it and you like, you ain't gonna see Elam doing that. You know, you ain't gonna see Moab doing that. But you're going to see Jake doing it. You're like, damn, man, you got a dude standing on top of a bus with a flamethrower, shirtless, blowing down the bus. You're like, bro. But you know that, yeah, that's Jake. So when people think of Israel, that's what the hell they thinking of. Because there's more Israelites doing wicked works than there are doing righteous works. So the wickedness, Israel is recognized for wickedness more than it is for righteousness. You know, and literally, if you want to look at righteousness as a whole, we got to go back. We got to go back to our history to be able to see some righteousness on a national level. But because if you look in the present, you're like, man, this is crazy, you know. So it's embarrassing, you know, and that's why the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that he's only dealing with the elect. Because if we had to pray for the whole nation, all right, or you know, sacrifice for the whole nation, it would even be embarrassing to do so, because as you're praying for the nation, I guarantee you there's somebody in the nation doing some wicked shit. You saying, Lord, please forgive them. He didn't intend to commit adultery, but the dude is back there in some other man's wife's room committing adultery. The same individual, you know, and you don't see it, but you praying, Lord, please have mercy on him, have mercy on us. You know, he's sincerely trying to repent. And the dude is like, man, I ain't never going to stop doing this shit. And he's just going in. So it's embarrassing, because the Lord is going to look at it like, all right, yeah, that's why he said, don't pray for these people. Because trust me, you're going to pray for somebody thinking, you know what, maybe it's for their betterment. I'm telling you, the same individual you're praying for is out there doing the exact same opposite of what you're praying. All right. And the Lord sees that. So let's read this real quick. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9. Verse 6, and shalom. It says here, I'll start at 5. It says, and at the evening sacrifice, I arose up from my heaviness, and having rent my garment and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto the Lord my God, and said, "Oh, my power, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God. For our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up onto the heavens." Because you got to think about it now, like, all right, Ezra, you a priest, right? How do you even begin to pray for your people? Because what happened when Ezra came back? You have we in Jerusalem, right? Dealing with the southern kingdom. The Babylonians come, they destroy the temple, they burn the stuff, they take us captives into Babylon. But they left a few over there, right? They left a few people over there in Jerusalem. Cool. So here we are. Babylonians go down, the Persians come into power, and then by the will of the Lord, because Daniel, it tells you that he said, he saw by books how that the Lord would accomplish 70 years, all right, over us. But then the Lord finally had mercy, and he finally said, all right, I'm gonna let you guys go back and rebuild, and then you come back. Literally, you come back straight, finally out of captivity. Yes, Lord, thank you so much. You come back to the Holy Land, and you see these niggas out here messing with the heathen, all mingled in, marrying them, all that's this doing. It's like, bro. So that's why Ezra is so embarrassed. He's saying, how do I even begin? Like, I literally just prayed, and we literally just got out of captivity. You literally just forgave us after what we just went through, and then right when in the midst of you forgiving us, niggas is already doing nigga shit again. How do you even begin to pray for that? Like, you're embarrassed to even lift up your head to the Lord, to even begin to ask for forgiveness. It's embarrassing, because it's like I don't even know how to put it. Like, the Lord, you don't even, I mean, at this point, you don't even, like, you can just look at me and be like, you see? The Lord can look at you and say, why should I even, hear your supplication? Clearly they didn't learn anything from that captivity. It's embarrassing, but that's society today. People don't even see the fact that this ministry is a second chance. They don't even see that this is a second opportunity for us to come back to righteousness, that the Lord is having mercy on us. They don't see it, So you can't pray for everybody, man. You can't save the whole nation. We only doing this for the elect. Because at least when we pray for the elect, we could pray with somewhat of a good conscience, because we know that each and every member of the elect, all right, not people who are saying they're Israelites, all right, but I mean the elect, whoever they are, each and every member of the elect is sincerely trying, right? Is diligently and sincerely trying. So at least when you pray for the elect, you're not embarrassed, because you know that, hey, I'm not saying that they're perfect, all right, but at least they're trying, so at least the Lord can have mercy on us for that. And my prayers ain't gonna be in vain. So as I read here, I read it again, not second Ezra, but the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 6. It says, and said, "Oh my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my power. For our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up onto the heavens." You see? And once it hits them heavens, whoo, that's it. Once it hits them heavens, judgment is coming down. Think of it like in physics they'll teach you about when the velocity and the acceleration and all that stuff, the turning point. You may throw a ball, and that ball might go up, 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 but the higher it goes, it loses speed. It loses that force. And eventually you'll hit a point, and then it'll start to come right back down. And the closer it gets to the earth, the more intense, the speed, the hotter it is. So think about it like that. Our iniquities go, but eventually the second they hit the heavens, that's the turning point. All right? That's when something is going to give. The second iniquity hits the heavens, that ball has lost that velocity. Now it's turning around and it's coming right back down. But it ain't coming down as iniquity. It's coming down as judgment. It goes up as iniquity, comes down as judgment. It goes up as righteousness, comes down as reward. All right? And that's how the Lord is judging the earth. So something is about to give, and it's gonna be just as, not even just as bad as it went up. It's gonna be worse. All right. Verse 7, it says, "Since the days of our fathers, we have been in a great trespass unto this day. For our iniquities have we our kings and our priests been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil and to confusion of face, as it is this day. And now for a little space grace hath been showed from the Lord our power, to leave us a remnant to escape. So we've had this history of wickedness and iniquity and transgressing against you, Lord. And now you've shown us that little bit of grace, right, has been shown to us, and you saved us a remnant to escape, okay, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. For we were bondmen, yet our power hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us. Oh. Let's see what's going on here. Salakia. I don't know what this guy's saying. Let me see what these guys are talking about. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I don't know why he said I had to move. But yeah, so Salakia, let me see if I could go back to this. I don't know what this guy was saying. But anyway, it says where was I? All right, I read this part again. For now, as it says, and now for a little space, grace hath been showed from the Lord our power, to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. All right. Now I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, but you get the point. All right. You get the point, going into basically that the Lord had mercy on us, but guess what? You know, in the especially dealing with Ezra, the Lord had mercy on us, and what happened? Right after he had mercy on us, dude started committing wickedness again. All right, started committing wickedness, no hesitation, went right back to it. So now that we in a society where all you see is wickedness, all right, and madness going on, man, something has got to give, all right? And something is about to give. And that's what we're crying about, Ezekiel 9:4. All right, we're sighing and crying for all the abominations that are being done in the midst thereof. Slacky, let me see. Oh, you said the sweeper's coming? You said the sweeper's coming?
Yes, sir.
Got
right
you.
now. It's right here.
Damn, son. Ah, Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. No wires to go around. All right, so yeah, you know, just basically that's the message, you know, that you know you got that sign is about to give, man. The Most High is only gonna tolerate so much. You see, long suffering does not mean that the Lord is not gonna do anything at all. Long suffering means He has patience, but at some point patience runs out. You know, at some point patience runs out and judgment comes down, and that's what the world, all right, is about to witness. Okay, is that patience running out and that judgment coming down upon the face of the planet Earth. Okay, now I had a couple more scriptures, but you know, unfortunately, I might have to end it here for now. All right, deal with all this that's going on here. But you know, Lord willing, you were edified. The water for tuning in, the water for the precepts. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakatham to you all. All right, and hey, man, the Lord is not going to leave us in this, you know, condition for much longer. All right, salvation is on the way. Help is on the way. You know, you got these devils talking about help is on the way because they passing stimulus checks and stupid as, you know, talking about putting shots in arms. Shots in arms. Speaking of which, they got ads over here, man. You know what? This place is completely finished. All right, and the true help, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, is on the way. All right, so stay strong, stay in the spirit. Go hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.